What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and once again I'm here joined with the one, the only,
Kirsch1.
and today we're back at it again, bringing you more question and answer videos entitled For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
Now, I know you guys generally don't get to experience this part because usually there's editing involved, and our wall sounds more reverb and guttural and bestial.
Yes.
But for the most part, I feel like your walls are always higher than mine.
Yeah.
Like, I feel mine coming from the bottom of my ball sack all the way up my belly and out my throat.
Yeah, no, mine start at the throat and then just kind of hit their peak at my teeth.
Cute.
Yeah. I think I've always been a very high pitch speaker and just like a singer, even though I never really sang. But remember, like in elementary school when they would make you do like, I would always be like pretty high. Not high as in, but yeah. This question comes from Carrie Vaught. Given we are referencing the time span we are talking about, how much of a chance that the old ones saw their original folly, messing with the warp, and developed the Tyranids to reclaim what is theirs? After all, what is another million years to the old ones playing the long con? Yeah, I mean, it could be that the Tyranids were created by the old ones. They're sent to the Milky Way galaxy, and in the old ones' mind, they're just going to kind of chill and wait for the Tyranids to destroy the galaxy. And then even after the galaxy has been consumed by the Tyranids, they're still going to leave the Tyranids and just let them continue to like kind of eat themselves. And then they'll come back. However, like story-wise, like we're never really going to get to see that.
In my opinion, like I feel like that already happened with the Psych Newen.
Yeah.
Like they already kind of did the whole wipe the galaxy clean slate type thing. So it's like, I don't see a reason why the Necrons or the Tyranids would come back.
Yeah. No,
or why they would push them in to clean it when the Psych Newen already did that.
Oh, no, but they didn't, though. Remember, because like when the plague happened, like the Eldar stayed around, the Orcs stayed around.
Yeah. So he's saying clean those off too.
Yeah. So because I think that's what he means by like the folly of the old ones, which was the psychically powerful race. And yeah, I do have a theory video on this. So if you check out Where Are the Old Ones Now, I do believe that the old ones created the Tyranids. However, I don't actually think that they have control over the Tyranids because I think the Tyranids are referencing Alien from...
Alien.
Yeah.
The Necromorphs.
Yep, so if you check out Prometheus, the Necromorphs are basically a weapon that went crazy and destroyed the... What are they called?
I want to say Forerunners, but I know that's not it.
It might be. The Forerunners? Oh, no, the Engineers.
There you go.
Yeah, so it killed the Engineers. So it's kind of, I think GW is trying to do a similar thing where, like, they're saying the old ones created the Tyranids as a weapon to cleanse the Milky Way galaxy, but they broke free. And they screwed up the old ones, wherever they are, and now they're coming to destroy everything else. So I don't think that the old ones are alive anymore. I think they were wiped out by the Tyranids, which they created.
Sad. Which might be how the Tyranids found out about this galaxy, by eating them, attaining their memories or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, so they're coming back.
Space Marines can do that, by the way.
Yep. Which is something that, like, I don't think they even talk about in the novels. I've never heard, like, oh, the mystery was solved because the Battle Brother took a bite out of the dead, thick goth chick.
And all her memories came flooding in. Roar XD.
Yes.
But yeah, that's a good theory about the Tyranids. But also, there's also that theory that the Outsider, a Necron Catan, is the one behind the Tyranids.
Yeah, that one's a little difficult for me to wrap my head around because it's like, why would he would he do that?
Right. Unless maybe he's trying to make the galaxy ripe for his taking.
Yeah.
And maybe by eating all of the sentient biomass beings, that's going to weaken the warp, so now he won't have that to worry about.
But the thing about Catan is that they want souls to consume.
Right.
So it's like
Why?
the Tyranids are
eating,
consuming those. Yeah. And the Tyranids don't have souls. They were like
mean.
gingers.
But yeah, with that first question answered and out of the way, let us remind you guys that this is October, the month of orcs and spooky.
So we're creating scary stories, orc videos and stuff like that. If you guys have any suggestions for cool like topics that might be like fun to explore in a creepy setting, let us know in the comment section.
Yeah.
Put suggestion before your suggestion.
So we know it's a suggestion that you're suggesting to us.
Yes.
It is raining outside and thundering, so that's kind of setting the mood for creepy.
It is.
And how do you set the mood for orky?
You usually just get a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, leave them out in the sun for a little bit, and then bring them inside. Because you know how like you smell an orc before you actually see it.
Yeah. Kind of like my. I'm not gonna say it. This one's by the big one. If you guys could travel backwards through time, what pair of historical cheeks would you clap first and why? Now, I'm assuming they're going to say yes. If that's the case...
I was going to say somebody, but then I stopped myself because I feel like I'm going to get in trouble if I say it. No, why would I? Hold on, let me think. I don't know if I want to say it.
Yeah, there we go.
I think because I hesitated to say it, now it's awkward to say it, so I'm not going to say the person that I was originally thinking of saying.
Okay. So then say the person you were not thinking about.
Yeah. Now I got to think about the person that I wasn't thinking about.
Now, are you talking about in like our like real life or in 40K history?
No, it's probably real life because 40K is in the future, the far future. Or we can answer both. Like...
Because if we go far back in 40K history, it becomes our history.
That's true. Yeah. So the Emperor, obviously. Why wouldn't you slap them cheeks?
Right, you can become whoever, whatever you want them to be.
Yeah. Then you can have Star Children.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Starboy, as The Weeknd said.
Yeah. No, they have a different name, right? They're
Sensei.
Yep. The Children of the Emperor. That doesn't exist anymore.
No, retcon.
Yeah. So what historical figure would you slap cheeks at?
That's an interesting question because only two come to mind, and one is still alive.
Really?
Yeah.
Who?
I was gonna say Salma Hayek, but she's still alive and making movies.
She's not really historical either.
Right. That's the thing. And besides that, the only other person I could think of is Cleopatra.
Yeah, you could do Cleopatra. I think she was inbred, though.
I mean, but there were like... It's like royalty, and it's like at that point, who wasn't?
That's true. Yeah. Frida Kahlo.
Oh.
Just because she had to wear like I think like a hip brace or something like that. So I think that'd be kind of cool to break it.
You could just get a hip brace and...
No, but she had a medical thing that I don't know if it was a hip or if it was something wrong with. She had to wear some type of contraption, like a girder. Yeah.
Let's get back to the 40K.
Yeah. This question comes from Dragon Punch 903. Are bows and arrows ineffective in the 40K era? What about handguns, slingshots, bazookas?
Bazookas. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, orcs use all those things.
I feel like middle school was like bazooka this, bazooka that, and then
we all learned. No, it's an RPG.
Yeah, rocket propelled grenade.
We started playing. What was the Medal of Honor? No,
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. That's what it was. Even though I didn't play that much Call of Duty.
Yeah, you were playing what? Killzone?
No,
Spore.
007.
Oh, GoldenEye.
Yeah.
On the N64.
Those were the days.
They had bazookas in that game.
They did.
But yeah, for the most part, I feel like our weaponry nowadays would be very... it'll still do damage, but it's very minimalistic.
Maybe.
Like if you're going up against a Space Marine and you've got a freaking pistol, like you're not going to do anything.
Right, yeah. In that situation, yeah. But if you're going up against like a Termagant or a Termagant, the pistol would do work.
Maybe if you hit them in its squishy parts. Or
Yeah,
like the eyes.
I don't think their chitinous like thing.
Really? You don't think it'll defend? Like I've seen images
regular gun?
of
No.
like a freaking chainsword, like just going at it and it like bounces off.
But is it like?
Well, maybe it's because of the ridges, like how it's like samurai armor, how they have them like segmented.
Oh yeah. No, but also like if it's a Carnifex, yeah.
Mm.
But if it's a regular old Termagant
Or a ripper, yeah, like
Yeah,
a swarm of
yeah.
rippers, yeah.
I could probably kick a Ripper swarm.
The whole swarm?
Yeah.
That's a big foot.
No, they come in a base. The base
Oh,
is pretty
that's right.
small. Yeah. Just line them up and kick them.
Yeah. You do have to get it out of its sprue first.
Yeah. It's. I wonder if it's hard.
Is it the Forge Road version of it, or just the regular?
The regular one.
Because the Forge Road one actually is a swarm of rippers.
Yeah, each individual one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was this question?
Oh, but at what point do our weaponry actually makes a dent in the 40k universe?
Oh yeah, it depends.
It depends on who you're fighting too.
Yeah.
Like if you're just going against like a hive, like Necromunda
Ganger.
ganger, like yeah, freaking pistol's gonna do work.
Yeah.
Slingshots, maybe, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there are certain ways you can hurt somebody with a slingshot, like even if it's just a guardsman, because they're using light, lasers.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
but I mean, las cannons use light. And you see
Yeah.
how strong they are.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
This next question comes from YouTube. Do you think Slaanesh ever bottoms? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of Slaanesh. Their verse.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's a verse?
Yeah. Because it's like, no matter what you can think of, Slaanesh has like 69 other ways more vile, yet exotic, that can work perfectly fine.
This next question comes from Puppy SB. With all the talk of the GW NDA going around, if given the opportunity, would you guys sign it? No, because as far as I understand, what this NDA is you just get free stuff, but you have to sign their non-disclosure agreement. And we saw that opportunity during the Indomitus box release and all the other releases since then. And no, I don't think it's worth it.
Mm-mm. We also talked about it in the previous For the Greater Wall, a little bit more in depth, so check it out.
Yeah.
Ryan Sawyer says, as somebody who doesn't play the tabletop but loves the lore, where do you recommend I can get all the new lore that has been added in the codices for each upcoming edition?
In the codices.
Yeah. They do put little inklings in like the White Dwarfs, in the Warhammer community articles,
Core rulebook.
but honestly the best place would be the Codex, which kind of sucks because that means you're dropping $50 twice a month, depending on when the frequency of GW decides to throw out codices.
Yep.
And then you get campaign books that have other information and supplements, and it's a very, very expensive thing to try and keep up with the lore.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you would be spending money for snippets of information. Mm-hmm. There isn't anything that's like lore breaking, and if it is, usually the internet tells you.
Yeah, and like let's say if you got the 7th edition Space Marine Codex, and then you go to the 8th edition, generally not much changed.
Nope.
That is a bad example because in 8th edition the Indomitus Crusade happened and the Primaris. Yeah. So I guess 5th to 6th make more sense, but yeah, generally not much changes. At least in the older edition, the timeline didn't progress as fast as it is now, so you get a lot of similar lore, a few retcons here and there. But I feel like now you're getting a bigger change.
Also, if you do want to focus on the lore bits, you should just pick up the novels because so for example, when what was the Psychic Awakening came out, there was books connected to the Psychic Awakening.
Yep.
But not for every single faction, but for a good chunk of the story. So it's better to read the novels and kind of get a feel for what's happening or how the story is advancing. Rather than the Codex, because the Codex, like even the Codex, just gives you a small little blurb of like what's going on during the Psychic Awakening, and then the Caradon, the most recent one was the Caradon one, right?
Right.
So no, not that one. Which one was the one with the orcs versus?
The Octarius.
Yeah. So those kind of stuff is pretty cool to get. Next question.
Oh, this one is by Montecore162. What effects do psychic gnolls have on the Tyranids, and can they sense the shadow in the warp?
What type of effects do gnolls have on Tyranids?
Mm-hmm.
It's a similar situation that we kind of talked about in a previous episode, I think last week.
Oh, yeah, that is true, yeah.
Gnolls have an effect on, like, the... what are they called? The giant brains?
Giant brain. Oh,
yeah.
the zoanthropes.
Yeah, zoanthropes. So they could affect zoanthropes, but they're not going to affect a Carnifex, and it's... what is it called? Synapse. Because Synapse is different.
Right. That's more hive mind than warp.
Yeah. Next question.
This isn't a question, but I just wanted to say that whenever we're talking about psychic blanks or psychic gnolls, we're not referring to Beyonce Knowles.
Right. She's not a psychic gnoll.
But she is a gnoll.
Yes.
This one's by Robbie J. Are you guys aware that the Black Rage and the Red Thirst are different?
No, we didn't.
What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Two names for the same thing? Como?
It's almost as if, like, you think we have a lore channel dedicated to 40k lore, and we would know that for some reason.
Yeah. No, but yeah, they are different. The Black Rage is the psychic backlash that happened when Sanguinius was killed or mortally wounded while fighting Horus near the climax of the whole Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy. And that's basically them thinking that they're going back in time and they're seeing this act happen, and that's why they go berserk and they're trying to, like, maim, murder, burn. Oh wait, sorry, that's Korn. They're trying to maim, murder, burn, kill their enemies, and they're chained up, and they have Astrath the Grim as the guy that beheads them after their duties have been done.
Yes.
The Red Thirst, however, is a gene seed deficiency that affects a large majority of blood angels, and that basically makes them vampiric in that they thirst for blood and whatnot.
Yep.
So yeah, different, but somewhat similar in a few different ways. And this whole gene seed deficiency was such a big deal that Sanguinius kept it secret from everybody. Eventually, his best bro, Horus, kind of found out about it, but... little interesting tidbit, they actually wanted to keep it secret because they said that they didn't want what happened to the Lost and the Forgotten Legions to happen to them. So a little bit of lore into the 2nd and the 11th Legion there.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Yep. Next question comes from Don Grill. Why are Space Wolves one of the core chapters in the 40k lore when they are so corny? I'm a Swede, and I think Space Wolf Viking wannabe stuff is silly. And I've heard real wolves howl in the Viking woods up here, and so I'm badass enough to call them out. I think it's for a different demographic. It's like for the kids, and it got us into 40k because the Space Wolves was the first, like, Space Marine box we ever purchased.
Yeah, like, oh, these guys look cool.
I mean, they do, like, when you're 12, you know, because of the fur, and then, like, you like dogs, and
you like dogs? Cool. Oh, this one's got a mohawk. My mom said I can't have one.
Yeah. What's interesting, I feel now, is that because, like, I feel like the GW's demographic has grown with the game, whereas, like, now it just seems like it's an older generation playing the game, and GW's trying to actually go back and try to get the attention of a younger crowd when the crowd is actually just older now. So I think that's probably why there's so much Space Wolf hate, because they are corny, but they're not meant for us. They were in the past, not anymore.
Interesting. I never saw it that way.
You don't think they're corny?
No, yeah. I mean, I do get the whole feeling of, like, they name, oh, this is my wolf sword, this is my wolf belt, this is my wolf gun. They do use wolf a lot in the naming of things, which they could also pull from other Nordic mythologies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it does get corny to a point because of its overuse. But I never thought about the whole different demographic type thing.
Yeah, and another thing that it's supposed to illustrate is how a theme within your chapter when you're homebrewing is important. That's how you get, like, the Blood Jaguars, which is a really awesome homebrew chapter of, like, Aztec Space Marines. And then you have an Egyptian one, and then, like, So I guess the Space Wolves is almost like it's giving new players, and it's giving people like ideas of like, hey, you could do this with your own theme. We even got like a guy who sent us his own homebrew lore of a Texas style Space Marine chapter, and I think that comes from like looking at Space Wolves and being like, oh yeah, those are good. Those guys are Vikings, Viking theme. So,
right. And it's interesting to pull, like, if you're trying to make it fit with 40K lore, well, it's like all these mythologies and religions and themes and states have been long forgotten about since Terra was like conquered by the techno-barbarians and then made as to what it is now, and the Emperor trying to ban religion and make logic and science a thing now. It's like, well, how did these religions and mythologies still thrive after all this, like, censorship was a thing?
Right.
So that's another thing to kind of think about while you're making your homebrew. Or just say F it and do what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and we'll talk tomorrow.
That's right. This has been the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.